being here. Chef Alper, thanks very much for the willingness to receive us and host us. On behalf of the Embassy of Ecuador, we are also with our chargé d'affaires of the embassy. I will give the floor, maybe he wants to give the first greet, and then I will continue with my words.
Well, thank you very much. Chef Alper, instructor of the Chef Academy, thank you very much for hosting us. Mr. Cristobal Alban, our commercial counselor of Ecuador, here in Turkey and the region, dear students of the Chef Academy and dear chefs. Good afternoon. I wish to thank the Chef Academy for hosting us and the Commercial Office of Ecuador in Ankara for organizing this event. I sincerely hope that this occasion, which coincides with the 101st anniversary of the culmination of our independence process, will be an opportunity for you to spark your interest in our culture and our cuisine. For certainly there is no better way to know a country than through its food. And in line with President Guillermo Lasso's slogan, more Ecuador in the world and more world in Ecuador, this surely includes our star export products such as shrimp. Turkey is a very important partner for Ecuador, and our two governments have been politically committed to strengthen our relations in all areas, a conviction that we are sure will only deepen in the near future. In these efforts, trade, particularly of food products, remains an area of infinite potential. Ecuador's food industry, with traditional products such as shrimp, banana, cocoa, tuna, coffee, and other products such as fresh fruits, seafood, and processed foods, are an integral part of our economic growth. We are sure that Turkish citizens will continue to enjoy them in ever-increasing quantities. To conclude, I wish to congratulate the Trade Office of Ecuador for this event and its personnel, as well as to reiterate my gratitude to the Chef Academy for hosting us. Please always consider our embassy open for any question regarding our country. Thank you for taking the time to be with us in this joyful occasion.
In 2021, we became the number one world producer and exporter of shrimp, which is a great achievement for our country. So what is aquaculture? Very easily, aquaculture is the cultivation of aqua organisms in a controlled aqua environment for human consumption. That's basically. Sometimes some countries they make aquaculture through shrimps, other crustaceans, and other animals. Some general important figures about the Ecuadorian shrimp. As mentioned, from 2021, Ecuador became the world's first producer of shrimp with 800,000 metric tons of shrimp production. In 2022, we rose that amount to 1.3 million metric tons of shrimp production. We are a very small country. Our area, our square kilometers are 256,000 square kilometers. We are a very tiny country in South America. Our coast length in the Pacific Ocean is around 600 kilometers, but in that small country we reached and we became nowadays the world's first shrimp producer, ahead of India and China, which are very big countries. So that's a very remarkable figure to point out. Ecuador exports. When we're speaking about the shrimp industry, we have to be aware that this represents to us in 2022 $7,000 million for our country. Our exports of shrimp, since we are the number one in the world, reached $7,300 million for our country, which is more or less 20% of our general exports. What is the variety you are going to taste and you are going to cook? It's called baname, or white leg or Pacific shrimp, which is other names. But basically, the scientific name is Lithopenes baname. What about our labor force in Ecuador related with the shrimp industry? The shrimp industry represents for us around 260,000 jobs for our country. More than 260,000 people is involved in this industry. That's why it's also a great strength for our economy. But and this will be the last part of my speech. But what makes Ecuadorian shrimp so tasty? In the 90s, in the 90s decade, there was in the world a general disease for the shrimps that is called white spot disease. The white spot disease almost destroyed 90% of the world shrimp production in the 90s, in China, in India, etc. What the scientists decided to handle in order to mitigate this disease, they put antibiotics in the water where shrimps were farmed and raising. But Ecuador decided not putting antibiotics, and naturally our country created immunity to this disease. So in other terms, our country created super shrimps that were resistant by themselves naturally to this disease, that is white spot disease, that was killing shrimps around the world. So thanks to that fact, the taste of the shrimp, the Ecuadorian shrimp, does not have antibiotic, and that's why the taste is much better to compare it with other shrimps in the world, that they need antibiotics from time to time to preserve the life of the shrimp. But in Ecuador, we don't need it, because we created, thanks to God, a very super strong shrimp. And that's the main reason why we have this special taste that you will experience. And that makes us a very sustainable environment for shrimp. Actually, we are worldwide considered as the best sustainable shrimp producer in the world. So just to give you last photos and pictures, so it's like how is the shrimp farm in Ecuador, right next to the Pacific coast. You can see a sort of pools where we cultivate the shrimps, mixing the sea water, salt water, and fresh water. It's very important to know what's back to the product. Not only, I mean, you as professionals in the gastronomy, you should be very aware about this topic. So that's what I wanted to share, and we really appreciate all your support, and thanks very much. Thank you.